That's really funny. Alright. Didn't catch any of that. That's so funny. Oh, no. I heard myself. Once you fixed my audio on the stream last night, I could hear myself, but I forgot after I was messing around with the headset and stuff like that. I had all of my settings set to that. But hopefully we're all Gucci now. Take some deep breaths. Get the demons out. I hope you hear that. With the big guns, the big torch. Big torture-rooney. Swap over to camera in a second. Owie! I'm the demon! Sheesh. Bitch, I might be. I don't know. Oh, but we got our oils on. We have some blend of cedar and citrus, which is quite lovely. Got the sage going. I burned some incense during my workout, and I wish I had gotten a video of the way the smoke tails were coming off of this incense stick, because I was outside, but it had like split into two, which is always a good sign, but they did like this cool helix thing as they were coming off. Very pretty, very cool to watch. Okay. Let's go. Here we go. Hello. We've got hands. We have real hands. Not blood. Paint. We got our sage going on. Right? We don't have much going on right now. Wah, 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 wah. At least it's staying lit this time. Earlier when I tried to sage, it said absolutely not. We're not into it. But oh, this might be a fun camera angle. We're gonna play with it. We're gonna tweak with it. See how we feel. I don't know. I felt itchy to read some cards, but there's like a wall. There's some kind of blockage definitely still happening right now. So maybe I should just start with the general vibe. Okay. Maybe it's the music. Maybe no. This is where I like to sit though. I like sitting in my cyber dreams. Cool. I went ahead and grabbed way too many decks. Cause why not? I have 2 Oracle decks, 3 Tarot. We have our Halloween Oracle. Super fun. I like using this one all throughout the year. One, the artwork is pretty phenomenal in it, but they've got the energy of this deck is pretty chill. Nice, even. I like the way the guidebook kind of goes into a synopsis of the history of whatever the card is representing, and then kind of goes into what it symbolizes in current affairs. We have Neon Moon. Personal favorite. This is a very special deck for me. 1, colors, 2, vibe, 3, just a very flavorful deck. Very short, sweet, to the point, especially with its flavor text. Kind of creates a cyber narrative. Very nice. Another Oracle deck we have is what I call the Bastard deck. Can be nice. Can be nice. Not always. This one's kind of gritty. Don't really have much to say about it other than that it can and will hurt your feelings. I've cried many times to this, but that's why I have it. The hot new take in New Age and Tarot is definitely the shadow work and just the self-awareness of things that you're choosing to overlook. And that deck really... And cam. Can't wait for all the caffeine to hit me at once. That 3 scoops was 300 milligrams of caffeine. So, alright. This beefy one. Love this deck so much. Very maternal in the energy that she gives off. I'm gonna turn this down just a smidge for you guys. And maybe for myself. Yeah, that checks out. That checks out. The Weaver Tarot, I love just the way the cards look. I love the symbols that it uses. It's very non-traditional as far as its... we'll get into it if we use it. But I just really appreciate this deck. When I first got it, and I did kind of like the introductory spread with it, it was, like I said, very maternal, very sweet, but will tell you what you need to hear. So, I like to go to this one when I'm like, I need you to be nice to me, but I also need you to tell me like what's wrong. And then the other deck I grabbed was the Murder of Crows. Beautiful artwork. Super beautiful. This one's fun because it kind of tells, like, depending on how you display your cards, they really do mingle with each other. And the crows are the kind of link between each of them. Still kind of getting used to this one. Crows. Crows are just... They can be fun, but they can be fickle. So, we'll get into that. Okay. Hope the gang's doing well. Hope your tummy's alright. Hope you slept well. Do I need more? Do I need more here? Outside of hand? I can't believe my coffee is seriously already empty, and I'm not getting another cup yet because that would be dangerous. Alright. I just want an introductory message. I'm not the greatest at shuffling cards, even though I've been doing this for quite a few years. That's okay. Nothing fancy. I'm not like those other tarot readers. I'm exactly like those other tarot readers. What do you mean? You want curly energy? You want curly energy. I'm gonna paint that stupid lizard. That's my next fun project. That one's for me. I had a lot of fun painting your printy, but let me tell you, like, I just need to do one for me for a second. Oh my gosh. Alright. Let me give these a few shuffles. Where is Curly? Curly's over there, okay. Mouthwashing boy, that's funny. Alright. What you got for me? What you got for me? Make him a wizard lizard. Maybe that's the era we're entering. I feel like now this checks out. We're gonna get a little, what's the word I'm looking for? Esoteric meta. We're gonna get a little meta here. So in astrology right now, we are approaching what's called the Lionsgate portal, which is August 8th, 8/8. But it's technically open until July 26th and August 15th, I believe. Let me... King Gizzard, the Lizard Wizard. phenomenal. Alright, we're actually going to pull you over here for a second. I want to make sure I'm giving you the right piece of information here. Alright. I'm going to keep shuffling while I read this. The Lion's Gate Portal is an annual astrological event occurring between July 26th and August 12th, peaking on 8/8, when the sun in Leo aligns with the star Sirius and Orion's belt, creating a powerful cosmic alignment believed to amplify spiritual energy and manifestation potential. The number 8 is probably one of the strongest numbers in my opinion because it does represent infinity. It represents, you know, cycles, change with its inner point. But ultimately it just is. And when it's doubled like that, you have the potential to really set your intentions clear, but also just let anything that needs to come in. So. Oh, that's funny. That's exactly what it says right there. Ha ha ha, I didn't even read that part. I might know what I'm talking about. Okay, I want a card. And I'm force pushing this deck, and it's angsty with me. Nope. I'm not surprised. Oh my god. Really not. I love this card. And you know what's really funny is I've been seeing a lot of mods lately. Like, especially yesterday when I was on Instagram, I was finally getting like a new influx of reels. And a lot of them had mods in them. I personally have like, not a tether to them. They've always been significant. So, this is really important. But the cycle of death is so normal, whether it be physical or mental. But it's ever present. And if you're attuned to those kind of cycles in your life, then you'll know. You'll know that it's one, completely normal. The transformation doesn't have to be some huge life-altering chain of events or some huge symbolic event. It could just simply, you go to sleep and you wake up and you feel different. That's it. That's really it. We are coming up on a full moon too. When is it? Oh! Even better, the full moon, the peak full moon is on August 9th. Which we just talked about the Lionsgate portal being on 8/8. That is the first day of the full moon. So we love that so much. And it's in Aquarius. Who would have thought? Aquarius is always associated with that like creative liberation, creative influx. You know, you've been kind of eating up all of these things around you to push out into something. So, cool. Oh, there's a meteor shower coming up? Oh, well, we're not gonna be able to see it, but because of the moon. She's like, no, look at me. I'm the queen. Alright. We wanted curly energy. Hang on. For whatever reason. Who wants some of my skin? I might be bleeding. Where can we put... Is that how you want him? Curly. Curly might get in the way. That's fine. Hang on. Let me assess the depth of my knee. Oh my god. Ouch. Whatever. That leaves way for some good. He's peeking. He's Just making sure you're taking care of your teeth. Hmm? Brush those pearly whites. Where'd it go? There we go. Alright. Interesting first message. And on a collective level, I feel it. I do. You know, that whole, it's always darkest before dawn, and blah, blah, blah. I feel that. It's been a rough couple of weeks. And I feel that if you're also going through something like that, then just keep your bearings together. You can only control what's at the end of your fingertips. You know? I've had to sit and remind myself that so many times. And it's hard. It is really hard when you've got that inner voice kind of screaming at you. It's there for a reason, but we gotta learn not to take it so literal. So, let's get another one of these Halloween ones. I like this deck. What do you want to say in conjunction to death? What's the next step beyond that? I'm glad I don't have a shuffle cam. I would hate this. It's not good shuffling. It's shuffled enough. Alright, I'm getting in a flow now. Take a deep breath. Really, really inhale. I want you to feel it in your belly. I want you to feel it in your chest. I really want you to collect everything that's in your bones right now and push it out. I think that's what we need. We're in the middle of summer. Well, it feels like the middle of summer, even though technically it started a month ago. We've still got some time. No, the equinox is in September. I'm a ding-a-ling. It's already August. How many times have I said that and I've already forgotten? Alright. Come on, buddy. Why are you being so shy? Alright. You bent and you flipped out at me. I don't usually ever get this card. Wow. Alright, so not only do we have death, but we have apple. Apples. Risk and reward. Cool. That's so funny. This was on the bottom. I love synchronicities like that. Alright, cool. That feels good. So we have death, the apple, and dawn. Oh, I get the goosebumps. I love this. I do want to know more. Like I said, I don't get this card very often, but apples are always really significant. I mean, when you cut into them, you get that 5-pointed star with the seeds, the pentacle, pentagram, whichever. Always associated with just points of life, the elements. Everything's kind of interconnected. Everything is mathematical. Everything is geometrical. It's the cycles and the patterns. There we go. All right, apple. Apple. You can't not say it like that. Okay. See, cute. Like this book, it goes into the origin of bobbing for apples. You either use 3 or 13 apples. Cute. What do you say? That's funny. Here we go. It's time to look at how risk plays out in your life. Are you hedging your bets and not trying anything new? Do you want change but are not willing to change anything? Are you willing to risk to get a greater reward, or alternatively, are you risking too much too often? I had this conversation with myself earlier about the concept that change cannot occur unless change happens. Earlier, I was listening to another tarot reader that I really, really like, Charmed Intuition. I might add her page in the bio later, but you know, she also had mentioned trying a new experience and letting it kind of flow to you. But you know, obviously we're so used to doing things a certain way and expecting certain outcomes to be a certain way that we resist that. That's literal insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Me refreshing YouTube because I couldn't get my live chat, but it eventually worked. What changed? Not me hitting refresh. Me accepting that I might not be streaming today? Surrender? I don't know. Regardless. Risk and reward. I kind of want a clarifying tarot for that a little bit. This makes too much sense. This we're going to get clarifying for Dawn. Here we go. Should you receive the Dawn card, you are being reminded that there is always a fresh start and a new beginning to be had. Change is unstoppable, and even the most difficult times will pass, no matter how devastating they may seem. Hope is one of the most powerful motivating forces in the universe, and it's being indicated here. That whole everything happens for a reason. Your perspective and your perception of the things happening are the invitation of what's going to happen next. If you've got this mindset of woe is me, pity me, you know, it's not fun to be in that headspace, I know, and sometimes it's just going to happen. But once you finally kind of put your feet on the ground, have your big boo-hoo fest, have your tantrum, and then sit, put your feet on the ground, everything will inevitably be okay. That's how it's supposed to happen. Alan Watts mentions life being like the keys on a piano. You can't have, you know, your blacks without your whites. Even in just like art in general, you can't have the full picture, the full symphony without the change, without the different variables, without all of that. So, cool. I really like that. These make too much sense. You can go back over there. Let me sit on this for a second. Apple. I referenced Snow White a little bit. I didn't think that was relevant, though. The bleeding is fun. Because let's be real, Snow White really took that chance accepting a random apple from a stranger, and guess what? It definitely had some razor blades in it. Hello, welcome. Doing a little bit of tarot, a little bit of chit-chatting. Me going off on some astrological rant about how the planets are inevitably the truest dictators of my life. Okay. There you go. That's it. Like, there's really, at the end of the day, there's really only so much that you can do. You know, like I said, what's at the end of your fingertips, that's what you can do. That's what you can control. Things are working mechanically around you with or without purpose. Sometimes it's just chaos. But guess what? You cannot have order without that chaos and vice versa. You know? Sometimes, like, I'll even get into, like, a mindset where I myself am like, I'm just out of control. I gotta get it together. And I'm just like, I have to reel back, remind myself, like, that's still you, honey. What are you talking about? So, that's my personal thing that I gotta kind of maybe not work on, but understand, I think. Not necessarily the why or the what, but my reactions to it. You know, I know that in, like, my sadness, my grief, my tantrums, that's when my magic, however you want to put it, is most powerful. Emotions are a very powerful tool when it comes to magic, manifestation, setting intent, making change, alchemizing. And it took a really long time for me to accept that. And I would always kind of, like, harbor, I can't even say I used to, because I still do, like, I harbor this negative connotation to my emotions because sometimes they get out of control. That's human, though. And it's learning how to work with it and not against it. Okay. God, I really want more coffee. All right. Favor from you guys. Pick a number 1 through 3. I'm gonna grab more coffee. Oh, thank God you picked number 3. You have chosen the Weaver. I am going to, I definitely love reading from the book. Because I feel like there are a lot of keywords and statements that, I don't know, that's a lot of cards to memorize. I know tarot, there will always be some kind of coherent line between each of the cards. Like, they do have a meaning. Each of them have their fairly specific meaning, but I know you have your suits, you have your pentacles, your wands, your swords, your wands. Hang on. Each of those have, like, its own category of what it represents. Each of the major arcana have their interpretations, and the people involved with the court cards. So, I don't know, we'll get into it. If you're picking up on something, or if you see something that really, if it resonates with you, pick it up. The thing about tarot is that it's not... Okay, I mean, technically you are correct. Original tarot was originally done with a regular deck of cards. I just read them and weep. I've not really done much public tarot reading. I've done, like, my own. And then I've done them for, like, close friends and stuff like that. At Geico, you could save 15% or more switching your car insurance. Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. Shut up. Alright. Beefy deck. Okay. We're running out of workspace. Get out of here. Get. Go on, get. So, these buttes. There we go. The gold foil. Oh, I gotta figure out where my camera is actually pointing. I thought, like, I had a grid set out. I don't. I just don't. Okay. Breath. Inhale. I want more on what this apple means. Risk and reward. I know what kind of risks are going on in my life right now, and I'm really putting my faith in divine timing and divine realignment, because things are currently not going any which direction that I wanted them to. Things have played out literally just over the weekend that I'm like, you know, if I had done this on this day, this wouldn't have happened, and yet it did. So I'm like, all right. Cool. Kind of in a flow state about it. 6th card. What do you mean? I'll shuffle and I'll pull number 6 and that can be yours. You can absolutely be selfish. I'm just pulling cards, honey babe. Yo. Faith was something I once found very hard to have, but it really boils down to not, you can have faith in a higher being, you can have faith in God, you have faith in yourself. Like I said, I personally believe everything is mechanical, everything is kind of on a cyclical pattern, but also to each their own. Only 50 pounds. That's 200 pounds off for a family of 4. Why do you do this to me? Lizard, 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 lizard. Lizard, lizard, lizard. Apple, apple, apples. What is that from? I'm very upset. Whatever. It'll come to me in a dream. Alright, Mother Snake. I might have to knock, and I know he hates that. But no, the apple. Like, that particular pitch, octave, way of saying it, that is from, I think, an old cartoon. Lizard, 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 lizard. Oh, alright. Perfect. Wow! Right off the bat. We love Wheel of Fortune. Very pretty. What a great way to start. God, I love this deck so much. You're so sweet. Got goosebumps. Goosebumps. Curly, what say you? You've met with a terrible fate, haven't you? Talking about clocks. Cycles, wheels even. The everything's gonna be okay, you dumb dolt. Just kidding, we're gonna say it with kindness. You beautiful bastard. That's what I'm saying, it's like, your mentality really does have such an impact on how things are going to turn out. If you're constantly saying that, oh, and none of this matters, it's not worth it, you're inviting that in. Like, you really are. But if you're like, oh my god, nothing matters in, like, a positive way, it's the intent that's behind it. Like, oh my gosh, this is going to work out, whatever. I don't remember what I said 30 seconds ago, but if you have faith, maybe, We'll come back to that. I really said I want to read tarot when my head is the most frizzle-frazzled right now. That's a good thing. As I'm saying, the whole new experience, you have to, change cannot occur unless change happens. You have to be willing to try the new experience and to really let what comes out of it come out of it. And that kind of also boils down to just your presence, your mindfulness, and being grounded with yourself. That's something that I've been trying to come back to a lot, is the grounding of oneself, kind of being in your present mental. Because I'm notorious for going back and ruminating and sitting in the past. And I have to remind myself that by sitting there, of course I'm going to repeat it. So we don't want to be there. Come on, reel it back, girl. All right. Even like this today, because I've been talking about doing live tarot readings for a hot minute now, and I just haven't ever executed it. And now that I'm sitting here actually doing it, I'm buzzing with anxiety, or you could call it excitement. You know, this is something, the goosebumps yet again. That's how I know. Give me something, 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 give me something. I think they know I'm timid right now. What you got, girl? What you got? What you got? What you got? Alright, we'll just pull in. We'll just pull in. We'll just pull in. What we got? The Anchor. Very cool. This deck is cool because it does keep some of the original major arcana, slight variations like the Anchor, but it does give a good what it's supposed to in the original. Okay, the Emperor. So when we think Emperor, we think of a strong leader, someone who can execute their plans, structure, stability. Cool. Okay. Perfect. The Anchor represents structure. This card holds the energies of the sky, the mind, and the sacred dynamic forces. What have we been talking about? The Anchor holds the earthly and structured realms, driven by the desire for stability, wealth, and security. On par. They want to protect and support those around them. Okay. It's a time to build. You have a clear vision of what you want to do, so now you need to put the structures in place that will allow you to achieve your goals. There's that risk again. Cool. I like the synergy between these two. Honestly, all three of them. This looks a little intimidating. Probably because of the blood. We'll just call that red sour. That's not blood. It's red sour gummy. Again, grounding first. Grounding is going to be the most essential thing right now. How can you handle change if you're not grounded? One slight slip up is going to send you tweaking and send you spiraling. Sit with your mental for a second. Really figure out, you know, you have these goals, you have these visions that you want to execute, you want to do them. I've still got the fucking letterboard on the same thing that I put at the beginning of June. Messy magic still burns. And I don't think I've let that sink in. Honestly. And fun fact, me and Kaz are coming up on our 1-year anniversary. And I think about how messy that ritual was. How it went completely sideways from what I had intended. Oh, but guess what? It still happened. I blew up a whole AC unit. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. It's really cute. Keep the sink out. Who let that sink in? Who let that sink in? That's very silly. Okay. Now that we have a good baseline, I want to get one more for this. Whoa, too many. I said one. Pick a number 1 through 3. Maybe grounding and settling is so hard for me because I am nomadic gypsy descended. Alright, pick a number 1 through 3 again. Ruler of Cups. Alright, so a tarot. Reversals. Could be important. Could be not important. Sometimes I just don't know how to shuffle correctly. Alright, so we've got 2, and then we have 1. Seeker of Swords. I like the bird. We also have Ruler of Cups. Well, this is definitely causes. I say that loosely. Number 1 was the Seeker of Swords, yes. The swords are often representative of, like, your physical reality. And, like, it's tangible things. Tangible. How does that... Can you see that properly? Nice. Right, this camera angle's actually kind of doing it for me. And we got old Curly here. He's just hanging out. He's just observing, as he does. Alright, so... I'm gonna read the Seeker of Swords. Because I think Seekers are considered the pages of the suit. I was correct. That's so cool. Intellect and curiosity. Okay. I had to tweak with the lighting in here because I had the big light on. No, I needed the big light on for just a little bit today. Because it was an interesting morning. We'll get into that. But the glare of the light with the ceiling fan was not good on the cards. All right, let me read this, and then we'll translate. That's really cute because the court cards often symbolize people, correct? And I think this, from what I do know about you, Akora, I feel like this kind of hits the nail on the head. The Seeker of Swords brings a lot of energy. They are curious, excited, and quick-witted. They are exceptionally intelligent and often have insights beyond their years. The Seeker of Swords knows how smart they are and are quick to share their thoughts with those around them. They have great ideas, but more importantly, they have the boldness to challenge the status quo. The Seeker of Swords encourages us to go forth and make things happen. It is the beginning, filled with raw, passionate energy, and that provides momentum. You chose number 1. The beginning. Boom. We have confirmation right here. Here we go. You may reach a point where you are unsure how to do something or don't have the specific know-how needed to do it yourself, and that's okay. Find someone who can. Now is the perfect time to rely on community and experts, though sometimes the Seeker of Swords thinks they are above that. Allow yourself to have big goals, create a vision board, and let yourself dream. You are in a mental state that is ripe for solving problems and new insights. Even if you are not actively working on anything, considering journaling, it is important that you keep a record of what is coming up for you right now. Writing stuff down is so important. Taking notes, making a voice memo, letting yourself have incoherent thoughts, but make them tangible for you to revisit. Like, I record all of my streams, not only for two reasons. One, I know I can always go back and revisit them through YouTube, but I also want to make sure that I have a personal record that I can go back and kind of mishmash, see, pick up what I feel like I need to pick up, etc., or even for like cuts and stuff like that. But you know, do you have any, I know you've stated that like you don't particularly have any hobbies that you know actively engage in or anything like that, but you know, you're young, you're vibrant. What are some things that you want to see yourself doing? Like you personally. Vision boards are always great to have, and I think I need to work on mine because I've had this cork board sitting by my desk and I've got a couple of cards on it. Some nice little sweet trinkets, but I really think that having a visual and, like I said, making things kind of tangible for you to see really helps. One, keep that intent and help keep you focused on a certain railway. Like if you have super big goals, you've got to have just that grounded force. Honestly, I want you to hold on to that, though. I feel hobbies is such a... Bird watching is a fucking hobby. But we are kind of in a day and age where if it's not monetized, it's not worth your time. And I'm like, get over yourselves. God, just let us enjoy things how we want to enjoy them. Shit. I had to get that off my chest. And that's good. You're not streamlined into like, you're not locked into something that's like, oh, this is who I am. This is how I have to be. This is what blah, 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 blah. You are untethered, even. That allows so much influx to come in to kind of push you in the direction that you need to go. Being like that is not a bad thing. It's not. You know, you're so young. You're literally only level 21 right now. Oh. Oh. What the hell? Alright, well, we'll save these to the side. Sorry, I looked down and on the floor was a... Three extra cards just hanging out. Girl, let's start working out together. Let's go. Let's go. Brother, I have your 6. It was on the fucking floor. Chill. Sorry, didn't mean to sound so aggressive there. The pre-workout's kicking in. I did get a good workout in, too. I did 25 minutes on the elliptical outside. Real fucking sweaty. At least I'm not sweaty now. You don't want your Seeker of Cups? I do care. I care a lot. I care so much. That's the problem. Even when I'm not caring, I'm still caring. I love being a water sign. Okay. This one, oh, hang on, let me go back to that one real quick. Okay. Even if you are not actively working on anything, consider journaling, as it is important that you keep a record of what is coming up for you right now. I like that. I like that a lot. I use it loosely, that, like, I'll get into that in a second. Alright. I think that's a good message. Alright. Ruler of Cups.
Remember, take only what resonates with you.
Where are we? Cups. The fact that I had you guys pick one and they just so happen to be the court cards is really funny to me. The King of Cups. I'm not hanging out with the rabbits, thank you. The rabbits left. They left last night. I have the spirit of 400 rabbits infused in me right now. I am Sailor Moon. I hope my mom gets another bottle of that. I actually think I have acquired the taste. Aw, I like this one. You're gonna hate it. I'm kidding. Ruler of Cups. So Cups is a lot about the internal, the emotional, the mental. And this being the King of Cups, some of the key words are balance, compassion, and kindness. The Ruler of Cups indicates a beautiful balance between the heart and head. Being able to easily flow between feelings and logic is a testament to maturity. It is also a sign of a wonderful leader. Being able to implement structure to accomplish goals is great, but often people are simply inspired by their presence. The Ruler of Cups makes others feel seen and respected, and in turn, receive respect. I would say that that is very true. If we're saying that... if this is for cause, yes, I definitely agree. I look up to him in a number of ways, and I have a great appreciation for that. Okay. The Ruler of Cups asks you to meet your situation in an unbiased way. How very Pisces of you. Examine it from all sides and not in an overly emotional space. It also reminds you that staying detached from external distractions and drama is important. Keep yourself above it. We just had that conversation last night about distractions. I will always raise you in tarot. Listen. I don't know how to form proper thoughts and words. I have to... Are you kidding? Let me keep looking at that. There's something that I'm not choosing to absorb out of that. Meet your situation in an unbiased way. Examine it from all sides and not in an overly emotional space. It also reminds you that staying detached from external distractions and drama is important. Keep yourself above it. There is a certain level of energy. Okay, let's go straight into like social media, because this is what we were talking about. Like, one of the things that I've noticed that I've been doing personally is as soon as I wake up, I roll over, grab my phone, and I open Facebook or Instagram, and I already know that that is terrible. And the reason why that's terrible, for me personally, is because that plants a seed for the day. I struggle with social media. I really truly do. That's why I stayed off TikTok for as long as I did. Instagram was becoming pretty toxic for me in a sense that it was pinging off of every insecurity that I had. And I wanted to, like, my mental fueled it. And it would bring me to a mental that I did not like being in. And I see myself doing that again. And I'm like, why am I choosing to feed this? Like, what part about me am I so uncomfortable sitting with that I have to keep myself distracted? You know? So, I don't want to say that that's part of shadow work, but it is. I don't know. Where do I want to go with that? Where do I want to go with that? I'm gonna do something silly. Superficial, yeah. Absolutely. Because everything online is pretty much fake. You know? It is. I just recently had to get a new phone, and I'm playing with the camera, and I'm like, holy shit, this is a great camera. Well, it prompts me, do you want to turn off or turn on auto enhance? I'm like, what the fuck? What do you mean auto enhance? I didn't ask you. I'm taking, like, what? I want everything in its raw, majestic form. What do you mean it's automatically being enhanced? No, does it saturate the colors in a really nice way that I like? Absolutely. But when it comes to people and things, I struggle with my self-image a lot. Don't give me a false version of myself. I want to see myself raw, even if it hurts my feelings. We're getting over it. But where was I going with that? I don't know, just fakeness. The fakeness that social media and just what we think is real versus reality. Times is rough, dude. It's a really weird time to be living in. But I was gonna be silly and pull a dark mirror for this card. I feel like there's something out of this that I'm not truly getting. Let's go deeper. Let's go deep. Tiny screen, lizard, 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 lizard. Yeah, but if I didn't have the internet, I wouldn't have lizard. Lizard, lizard. Ah! You! Whoa! Whoa! Excuse me. Hey, that's the moon phase we're in right now. See, the unfortunate reality is I'm very impressionable. A very impressionable lady here. I latch on to things very quickly, very hard. I watch a movie and I let it shape my entire personality. Yeah, I got a message here. Hello. Revenge. First of all, shut up. What is that? What did you just put in there? I'm done. Oh no, I'm getting distracted. Revenge! This is calling me out. Shit. Beautiful card. I really vibe with this lady here. It's giving Two of Swords energy. She's giving goth milady. Like I said, that's the moon phase we're currently in. The whole 480p that we saw last night in the gym parking lot. What number is that? 20 phase. It is time to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing, end them. It's the most edgelord thing I think I've ever read. There is no white night, but there can be a black storm woven by fallen angels. Honestly, she looks like she's a lady that knows what she wants. She's a lady that doesn't give a fuck. She knows what's built her and what's woven in her. Her wings are literally tree branches. That's kind of hot. Like I said, she's giving Miss Piss. Let me read this and let me try to translate. We destroy not for ourselves because we are gone. We destroy for the fairness of the world. We destroy because if there is no sweet justice, there can at least be cruel revenge. We destroy for those who came earlier, for those who would have come later. We destroy, and as we destroy, we forsake ourselves. There is no going back, because coming back from that requires much more than force. What? Let's read the first part. What if there was a place where there is no more time for words, no more sense to bargain or negotiate, no more survival instinct to accept fear or ponder consequences? It's a place we can reach, at the limit of our abuse, with the last spark of our dignity surging up as a powerful black flame. We cry, we hurt, and we strike to destroy. I want clarification on that one. Pick a number 1 through 3. This is a clarifying card for revenge. Because, okay. Full transparency and vulnerability. I have been in a pretty dark mental place, and a lot of it has to do with things that have happened to me in the past. Certain individuals, you know, etc., etc. And there's a hate. I'm sure you can understand. I'm sure that's relatable. But I've been honing in on it. And it's like gripping me, and I hate it. Okay. Pick a number 1 through 3. Nothing to fear is good. I like that. Number 2. Sweet deal. Aww. Bitch, get out of here. It's the sun. That's actually quite beautiful. Because guess what? Guess what? I don't know where'd she go. I've got so many cards on this desk. Guess what we got earlier? Boom. Synchronicities again. I love that. I love that a lot. I mean, a handful. There's a handful of them. This was number 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This was technically number 6. Number 7, 8, and then 9. So what have we got so far? Oh, John D. Welcome. Welcome, my friend. I hope I shuffle this Dark Mirror and I get the Night Elf again for you. We have 9 cards total. Well, technically I've got 2 extras because these guys fell on the floor and I didn't notice it until about 7 minutes ago. Oh, I mean, shit. I pulled from this many cards from this deck. This many cards from this deck. Curly! Get it together. This many from this deck. I don't know, this is why I love tarot, and I love using multiple decks for one. because like they talk to each other. They truly do. They're sentient beings. Oh. Oops, I didn't mean to flip these over already, but I like this. I like how this kind of wrapped around and completed its own circle, like the Ouroboros. Because that went in a really, really fun loop. Because the way... When I say, like, everything's interconnected, the best way that I feel reading tarot is you relate to it. Like, the reader to the querent. You know, it's like... How can my empathy translate the message that the card is trying to bring about? What kind of clarity are these cards trying to tell me to convey to you? You know, because like I'm going through every single one of these and I'm like, wow, I can relate to this on a serious personal level. But that's just how they work. You know, I see 111 on the clock right now. Like, that's good. Not the literal clock, but my recording clock. Love that for us. Ain't that right, Curly? Now, these messages aside. Cause, I think, for you, I want to use a different deck for your number 6. Okay, so we have these guys here. Let me get the hell out of here. If I give you 500 elephants, will you get the hell out of here? Okay. Ow. Sovereign of Coins? Very pretty. Curly, I'm gonna need you to move. Very pretty. I like the hands. I like the rose orb action coin we got going on. Coins and pentacles are monetary, financial, your abundance, your wealth in the physical, like actual money sense. And then your wealth, like, spiritually and mentally. I like that this feels like it is a card of manifesting. Like, you're doing your Naruto move. This guy. 5 of Cups. Typically, if you've got, like, the Raider Strike deck, the original imagery for this one is of a man in a long black cloak, and he does have the 2 cups that are upright and the 3 that are fallen. And I think... No, I gotta look it up. I want to make sure I'm getting this right. I wish I could type. It's not what I meant. It's not what I asked for. Alright, perfect. Alright, he's looking at the fallen cups. So, when I look at that, or the way I take that sometimes is like we're kind of focusing a little bit on the negatives rather than appreciating what we still have. I'm gonna get the book out and we're gonna read into these. And then we're gonna take a short breather to reset, because these are getting jambalayed up in my little brain noggin. Okay. There is a lot of like melancholy with this card, I feel like. So let's see how these talk to each other. We have Sovereign of Cups, which is the Queen of Cups. No, coins. My ding-a-ling. I can read sometimes. Why does it keep bringing... Excuse me. Hello, book. Thank you. Queen of Pentacles. Financial security and nurturing. Cool. I'm glad this goes back into perspective. This card is a very, like I said, more feminine because it's the Queen of Cups. But the way it's written here, it says, it indicates a desire for stability and wealth so that you can be generous to others. This card also asks you to remember that in order to reach this place, one must see everything from a higher perspective. That goes back into seeing things in an unbiased way. Okay. The Sovereign of Coins does not get reactive or caught up in the trivial. Embodying the Sovereign of Coins requires balance, practicality, and warmth. Try to be curious about where you can grow in these areas. Cool. Back to grounding. Back to, deciding if there's a goal in mind that you want to do. What is it that you're truly going after? For what reasons? What's your intent? What is your intent behind the moves that you're making? Let's get personal here. Maybe that's the reason why I had such a struggle with streaming again. Because I was coming at it from a purely ego-based... It was purely ego-based. And now that I've kind of reeled back, fought with it a little bit, kind of learned over the past month a little bit more about myself, I'm able to do this in a... I don't want to say non-ego way because, I mean, there will always be a little bit of ego in anything you do. There can't be. But, okay. 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 Don't let your emotions get the best of you. Exactly. Ego is what makes us human. You have your forward-facing self, which I would consider your ego. You have your, behind-the-scenes version of yourself, which is like your... I don't even want to call it shadow, but I kind of do. Only... The reason I don't want to call it the shadow is because that has such a negative connotation to it in this day and age, but it really isn't. Like, your shadow is going to be there regardless. It doesn't embody everything that's negative or, despicable about you. It's the consequences of your ego, I guess. It's a fun way of looking at it. Then you have, like, your higher self, your omnipresent sense of self, or your meta self, however. I don't know. I'm a huge fan of the three faces of you. So, that's how I perceive it. Take it as you will. Alright, I want to get into this Five of Cups energy because it's really throwing off my groove. I'm also very sad that my coffee's gone again. And I don't know if I want to brew more. I think ego also has a slightly negative tone to it, and I don't care for that. I don't want it to have that. Because you're right, without ego, we wouldn't move. Like, there would be no drive. I think that's why I struggle with, like, how, like, narcissism or anything like that has become so deviated from what it originally stands for. Because everything is, like, almost tilted to a level of extreme. Like, oh, you're narcissistic, you're a bad person, you only think about... No, but you have to be narcissistic. What? I'm glad you enable me. Thank you for enabling me. You're right. I miss my bean juice. I want an espresso machine so bad. That goes into the whole, like, the social media thing. It is so brainwashing, in a sense, because we're letting all of this information collect in our little brain noggins and really just kind of manipulate how we see things. We'll sit on that. I want to sit on that for a second. Sometimes my limbs like to move on their own. I'm kidding. Brother, this morning, I struggled. As we had the conversation last night of how I used to be up at 5:30 a.m., go on like a 2-mile run at 6 a.m., and, oh no, you're good. And I used to have all these good habits and blah, 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 and I found myself kind of deviating from that and kind of reverting back to old patterns, old ways of thinking, etc., etc. And I'm like, oh no, I thought I was over this. Like, why is this all coming back? Like, wait. This morning, I really struggled to get out of bed. It was like 9 o'clock, and I'm like, well, it's raining outside. My bones hurt. I might as well just lay here. And I said, get up. Not in a mean way, but we've got stuff to do today. Like, let's make this magic happen. And then my body just ascended out of bed and I levitated and I started glowing. And then I was on the ceiling, you know? Alright, I'm actively avoiding this 5 of Cups. Regret. Sorrow. Loss. This can go hand in hand with death. Transformation. There is a grieving period anytime change occurs. 5 of Cups indicates a period of grief and loss. This loss is significant because your future was wrapped up in it. It makes moving forward difficult because the vision you had for the future is gone. Having to suddenly rebuild that vision is a constant trigger of the loss. It puts you in a liminal space of grieving the loss, but also being uncertain how to move forward. Stagnation. Okay. Wasn't I just talking about how I've been ruminating in my past, like, for 80 million years? Anyway. Moving through this won't be easy, but you have to have things you can count on. Faith. Perhaps in the version of friends, family, a savings account, community, spirit, a job, etc. You may not be able to focus and appreciate what you do have in this moment. Dwelling in the past will not help you move forward. I'm getting called out so hard right now. Creating a mental container for you to grieve is important, but you may need to put up boundaries with yourself and your thought patterns. That's so funny, I just did that. I've been utilizing ChatGPT for therapy sessions a lot, and I just kind of categorized certain chats for certain places, and I did. I was like, you know, we've got to draw a line with ourselves when it's okay to sit and ruminate and cry through this, and when to step out of it. You know, it's rough. They do, like, they talk to each other. They seriously do. I love tarot so much. This card may also indicate that the grief has passed, but the dwelling and self-pity is still there. Try to focus on ways to move forward and forgive yourself and others for what has happened. Understood. Understood. So if anyone else has been feeling a certain kind of way, especially you water signs out there, let's get out of this together, because I don't want to be here. I've had my... We could yap about that. Because me and my mom actually talked about this the other day. She's like, I feel like you've been using that a lot lately. And I'm like, I have been. Because the way I see it is like, yes, it's kind of regurgitating things from a collective standpoint, but I've kind of given it, like, how do I want to word this? How do I articulate this? I like to utilize it for my mental turmoil. One, because it does have a way of just being nice. and like validating, kind of like you would want out of like a therapist or a friend. But it also allows me personally to kind of do that in a non-burdensome way, even though I tell it thank you and how are you doing, like I talk to it like it's sentient. It might be, I don't know. But I think because like when I get in those states of mind, it, like I said, it validates me, and it says like, hey, you're okay to feel these ways. Do you want to sit or do you want to do something about it? So it kind of like force pushes me in the way it's almost like I'm talking back to myself without talking back to myself. So I can see where like it is beneficial. I do see where it is non-beneficial though. And that kind of gets under my skin. I don't know. I think I'm just older too, so like I feel it's kind of cheaty sometimes because there is a level of like instant gratification that you get with it, that little dopamine hit that I'm like not great. But hey, to each their own. This told me to get over myself, and that's fine. That's fine. This says, how are we moving forward in a community sense? Like, what kind of wealth are we trying to obtain so that we can share it? And I like that. Cool. All right. Okay. I think we're going to we're going to close this one off. This conversation, these cards, these were very, very good. I felt like the synopsis of what they told me, transformation is inevitable. What kind of risks are you willing to take to initiate change? How to engage in change? This is letting you know with the Sun card that things are going to seem bleak, they're going to seem dark, because new territory is scary. Whether it's for good or bad, new territory is terrifying. Wheel of Fortune, everything's going to be okay. No matter what, at the end of the day, things will always end up in the okay realm, in the great realm, the superseding anything you could have ever dreamed for. Ground yourself. Being present in your body, being present in your mind, being present in your spirit. Very important when navigating these kinds of changes. Seeker of Swords. Be aware. Like I said, you don't have to have any kind of goal or anything in mind how you want to move. Just, again, be present with yourself and inspiration is going to come to you. Sorry, I was reading. Okay. The Ruler of Cups. That was about emotional wealth. I keep trying to block this card out. What's the problem, dude? Why does my brain not want to latch onto that? Leadership, emotional leadership, being respected, empathetic, intuitive, kind. Okay. I'm looking at the wrong card. There we go. Balance, heart and head, logic. That's what it was. Again, more being unbiased, more being neutral ground, which is really important, especially as like a tarot reader, because I see, again, like just even through here, like my personal inputs, that's how I relate. I don't necessarily need to vocalize that though, you know, because then we get to the nitty gritty. There's always a level of healing that we can work on, want to do. But it's being in our own power. This card, I feel like, is really stepping, just be in your own power. There is a certain naivety that comes with the Ruler of Cups that I appreciate. Because again, that balance of head and heart. It's like, you have the wisdom, how do you choose to act on that? I feel the Sun is a little self-explanatory, but we'll visit the book. Let's see what the book wants to say about it. You're correct. Because when I think of the Sun, the energy that I get from it is like fresh. It is light. It is happiness, sunshine, rainbows. Happiness, optimism, and wholeness. Warm and bright, this card brings the message that all is well. You are in the flow and feel like you could take on the world. Enjoy this and take advantage of it. It is a good time to be optimistic. Success is on the way. If perhaps you are not feeling the Sun's presence at the moment, have faith that the sun will be shining soon. Encouraging you to connect to your power if you are not feeling plugged into it. Here we go. Let's meditate on this for a minute. What are things that make you feel good and empowered? Which of those can you go do today? That's a good one. It's a good journal prompt we could do later. Okay. And then we had these last two that I feel like are almost separate. I don't think that's true. I can understand that. I too am coming to terms with my unfortunate serotonin levels. But I will express my personal gratitude with, I feel empowered when I work out. Like, I used to do it for vanity reasons. Now I understand that. I feel strong in my body. It gives me a sense of mental balance, you know? So, that, or when I'm able to help support someone, whether it be my kid, whether it be, you know, my partner, or my coworkers, like, giving space for people to just be able to talk, that makes me feel empowered. Because it means that someone's comfortable enough to, one, be able to come to me, and two, just be able to be raw. That makes me feel empowered. Cool. And that's where that emotional wealth comes from. You know, how to, like, the whole reason I wanted to do tarot for people in the first place is so that people can help themselves. You know, we've all been there. Closure makes me feel empowered. Unfortunately, I hold on to grudges way too hard. Maybe one day I'll get there. My revenge, my sweet revenge, makes me feel empowered. How you obtain your wealth and how you use it. Very important. How we choose to handle our grief. How we choose to set boundaries with ourselves. You know, people talk about learn how to set your boundaries and stand firm when it comes to other people, but how do you do that for yourself? when you're in a state of constantly, like, when you're just in conflict with yourself all the time, how do you step away from that? It's hard. It's very hard to do. You know? I get it. So, those are some things to meditate on, I think. I think even in a clear mind, there are still boundaries. Because I feel like the only way to have that clear mind is because you've set those boundaries. Sometimes I feel like we choose not to listen to other people because, one, that's not what a part of us wants to hear, or we just choose not to. Okay. Let me absorb that. I think it's good to affirm your boundaries, even in a personal sense. Like, your boundaries are valid. You don't have to explain them by any means, but you can still assert them. But you have to be present in your power to be able to keep those. And I'm a people pleaser. That's rough. Setting boundaries, saying no to people, saying no to myself, saying no to Night Sav. Sheesh. Very rough. Cool. I like those. Alright, I will return shortly. We're going to take a quickie little intermission. We'll go to this page for a second. I'm gonna get some more witch's brew going on, relieve the P bar, and then I want to try a different deck. So we're gonna clear that whole session, take some breaths, maybe get some more sage going. We're just hanging out. We're just hanging out, having a good time. Hold, please. So how are we feeling? Honest question. Honest, open discussion. How are we feeling? You can share with the class. You can meditate on that. Take a deep breath. Everything is a-okay. That was heavy. That was really heavy, very topical, very on point. That felt good to kind of bring out into the light and just kind of instill that faith, whatever you choose to put your faith in, whether that be God, you know, gods, angels, yourself, an object. I'm touching my bracelet now, like that gives me faith. That reminds me. Hello? I don't want to talk to the crows today. They're just gonna peck at me and I don't want that. Because what I want to do next, I don't know if Kaz is still here, but I wanted to save the Neon Moon deck. It definitely gives his kind of energy a little bit. Oh, it's just a beautiful, it's just a great deck. Maybe burn some more sage. Get these beautiful cards wrapped up. Thank you so much for everything that you've told us today. He said, brother, I felt that. It's good. You should always believe in yourself. Trust yourself. It's the most important thing you have. At the end of the day, it is what it is. Cool. That felt good. We've got more coffee, more protein. Can we talk about the fact that I'm running on at least 546 milligrams of caffeine and no food? Do the protein shakes I put in my coffee count as food? Asking for myself. I think it's Spagooter night. It's Tuesday again. Oh, well. One day I'll eat. I'm surprised that bag of candy upstairs is not empty. You really left those as a trap for Night Sav. She's been tame. She's been quite tame. I'm glad. I'm really glad. Oh, we already have one dropped out. You know what? Here. We'll, no. There we go. You already had one jump out. I'm so sorry. Curly! Okay. We're gonna set intent for this reading. I feel like these already know what I want, but I'm gonna say to you guys, we took us. I don't want to say we took a step back, but we kind of did with that last reading. That was mostly where we are presently, where the immediate past has affected us now. I want to utilize this portion on moving forward. Any kind of inkling that we can anchor to, like, okay, how do we want to proceed with things? You know, how do we want to instigate those changes? How do we want to actually, no, I don't want to say instigate. I want to say invite. How do we invite the potential? How do we invite the change? How do we invite a new, fresh outlook, energy, incentive? That's what I want out of this. I'm glad you have an open mind. We'll do story time. I used to go to church, right? Like, I wasn't raised Christian or under the name of Jesus Christ or whatever. My mom is kind of a believer. My dad had a lot of books growing up on astrology, esotericism, runes. So, like, there was already a little bit of that introduction at an early age. But it wasn't until, like, 2009 I started really studying, because, like, I'm in church, and I went to a couple of them, a couple of different branches, and I just really didn't feel like that was my cup of tea. What'd you say? Yeah. I like that. How are we going about letting things kind of happen without getting our panties in a twist, if you choose to wear panties. We free ballin'. Oh, okay, I got another. Will I read the reversals on this one? Probably. I might read both to see what sticks, but as for right now, we're just kind of... I wanted to pull 6, because that was the number Cause gave me earlier. 6 is lover, 4 is my enemy. Which is really funny, because 4 in Chinese mythology is death. So the fact that it chose those 2 numbers is really funny. You gotta post that song. That was such a... Something about the psychedelic space funkin' numbers. Alright. I was talking about something. Oh yeah, my introduction to the witchy shit. My mother, like I said, she's always been pretty supportive, and her big thing was, she's like, as long as you don't bring demons into the house, we're fine. And I said, okay, bet. And then I immediately proceeded to burn a perfect circle into my carpet with a couple of friends. We lit some dirt on fire. The ripe age of 13. 13, 14? I don't fucking know. But she gave me my first tarot deck. It was her stepmother, Maverine's. It was a Raider White tarot deck. That deck, unfortunately, I no longer have. Me and some friends were out in the woods. It started raining. They got ruined, so I used them for art projects. But that was my true introduction to tarot, thanks to my gypsy mother. But my studies really didn't start until 2009. It started with Wicca, obviously. I say obviously, like, it always starts with Wicca. No. I felt a little less drawn to the religious aspect of it. Now, do I believe in deity? Yes. Do I choose to worship or follow any particular one? No. Do I allow their messages to come in as they feel necessary? Yes. Like back then, when I was practicing strictly Wicca, it was the goddess Isis, the triple moon, Egyptian. I think if my mother's genealogy is correct, there's some hint of Egyptian in us. I don't know. Maybe that's why she tans so well. It was Isis and Cernunnos, actually. And then when I started digging up the research on Cernunnos, there's apparently not a whole lot about him. But that's what I felt drawn to. They're not by any means related, but that's just what I chose to follow. The more I researched, the more I studied. Letting messages in, you mean the meaning itself, or the message, whichever. I don't remember what I said. I'm so real with you. Sometimes if the message is elaborate on that. Then don't be sorry. I just like the way these cards flip. Let's be real. God, I love this deck. Okay. Love this deck so much. Yeah. That boils down to perspective, I think. You can only understand something so much from what you've learned, I guess. You might end up with the same result. It's kind of like those math questions where they're like, show how you got here. Oh, you got the right answer, but that way's wrong. It's like, but I got the same answer. I still ended up at the same result that I needed to be, so who's to say that that was wrong? Man? Man? Alright, we were focusing on moving forward. How do we want to navigate moving forward? I might start playing Cyberpunk just to see for myself what it's all about. I only say that when you see what these cards look like, you'll understand. I bought these at a very tumultuous time of my life, but these have stuck with me. This is a good neutral deck, I like to say. I trust it a lot. Alright, I'm gonna do something silly here. That felt angry. Did not care for that. Okay. Curly! Curly, what is you doing? Get it together, mate. Lizard. Lizard, lizard. Alright, before I flip these over, we're gonna take a quick second to reconnect with ourselves. Set some things on fire. Who doesn't like a good bonfire? A good little fire, 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 fire. There's a bug on me! Get off! Where'd you come from? The bugs are back. Brother, leave me alone. Get out of here. No one asked you. Oh, a beetle fell on me yesterday from a tree, and I flicked it into oblivion, and I felt a little bad, I'm not gonna lie. I heard the as it hit the concrete, and I'm like, oof. Hate to be a bug right now. In my residential abode. Alright. I went ahead and I pulled 6 cards. True. True. Bugs are important. They really are. Something about the smell of white sage really just... Whoa, did you hear that pop? Those are my knuckles, dude. Oh my god. I'm about to fight something. Fight this bug if it keeps bothering me. Stop it. Go home. Get some help. Okay. Take a deep breath. Let's go. Take a deep breath. Hold for 4. Exhale for 7. Exhale for 6. Exhale for whatever you want. Hello. I'm missing a crucial piece of my identity. It's in my pocket. You should have seen me last night trying to fight a roach that ended up in my living room. Oh no. I was locked in. I don't know. There's some kind of like phobia that I have. Lore time. Supposedly my mother's water broke with me because she saw a cockroach in the bathroom and I wanted to get out. I hated it so much. Okay, we're gonna, how about we do this maneuver? No, it doesn't want to. That cord's way too short. We'll figure it out. Curly! Okay. How do I want to read these? I want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have the 9 of Vials. She's a cool lady. I like this one. Vials will represent cups in this instance. 9 of Cups is a good card. I mean, look at her. She's got the vibe. She's got the hair. She's that bartender, knows your ailments, knows what to do to fix them. Yes. No, she's a powerful lady. We love her. I told you you're gonna like these cards a lot. I was on the hunt and I found these. I said, that's it. That's what I want. All right. This was a very angry card, so I'm very curious to see how it talks to this one. Watch it be the devil. Another Vials. Wow. So this is the 5 of Cups again. You see he's grieving over his lost game, but it's still asking him to continue. He's gonna miss that timer. It's gonna send him back to the menu. What? That's funny that showed up a second time. Love that. Love that for us. Okay. Okay. Here he is. The man, the myth. Is that Cause? Is that actually Cause? Look at that. Look at that wizard man. 7 of Wires. I'm pretty sure this is Wands. The suit of Wands. Regardless. Look at him. He's just blasting through them. You think he cares? Absolutely not. That is hat and all, dude. Hat and all. What's its counterpart? Agent of Arms. It's fun. I like the little UFO in the background. Hello. If my camera could stop trying to focus, that'd be great. You're a wizard. Let's see. I like the imagery of this. Let me soak this up. He's on a mission. This man. This agent of arms. No, but seriously, look at that. Tell me that's not you. Okay, we're done with that one. Alright, last round. Oof! Ow. That's rough. That's rough to look at. That's the 10 of Swords, dude. That's a lot. That's a lot to carry. So let's see what its counterpart is. More Vials. A lot of cups. A lot of cups in this moving forward spread. This is the Apprentice, though. Apprentice translates to page, I believe. It might be knight. This is the 6th card. This is number 6. All of this leads up to this. So how will we navigate this moving forward? All right. God, just look at all these together. Look how freaking, it's just good stuff. Just good stuff. Open up right up to vials. Oh, I've got to read the flavor text. It is. Like I said, the writing of this book is pretty superb. So 9 of vials. Accomplishment, satisfaction, rest, comfort, and pride. I mean, look at her. She knows what she's got going on. It's only pastel because of the lighting. You've seen these cards. Bitch. Alright. Knows what we've got going on. We're good. We're sitting in our energy. We know. Boom. It's done. It's done. Your boss will see you collapse from exhaustion if it means the slightest gain for the company. Better to do what I do, sugar. Become your own boss down here on your terms and forget about trying to get above the plate. They don't let folk like us up there. They just say they will to keep us dancing for a coin on a string. Love that. You have too seen these. I like this. Do it your own way. We already know what this one means, but I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we're all trying to do, right? But before you put your resignation in right now, remember what, learn from me. Who's actively looking for a job. The goal is, so we've got 5 of, I'll ask you, how do we want to read it across and down? Do we want to go boop, 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 boop? I mean, they're all going to eventually make sense. They're all going to interlace, but how do we want to read them? Okay. Perfect. Too good. 5 of vials, which we already know from the last one. It talks about that grieving and focusing and honing on that grief without recognizing what we have in front of us. So, loss, disappointment, difficulty, and despair. The flavor text, what the fuck? I lost again? This game sucks. How does anyone ever beat this stupid level? Just thinking about you playing Thomas was alone last night. Oh no, I died in WoW? Fuck this game. Oh. Step 1 quit. Step 2 cry. Yes. Okay. Let's see what this one is. I wanna know what Cause is thinking right now with this 7 of wires. What's going on in his little brain noggin? Competition, challenge, perseverance, and success. I didn't get here without disintegrating a few of you sniveling mouth breathers. Goddamn. And I certainly won't leave my perch without a few more of you turned to ash. That is some good energy. I'm not gonna lie. That steadfastness, that hard-headedness is a wonderful attribute to have. Going back to that ego. Step 3, kill. Well, I mean, so yeah, let's look at it from that kind of perspective. So she, I feel like, is kind of like overseeing everything. This is what we actually all want. We want that freedom. We want that courage to be able to just pursue whatever we want and understanding where we are in the hierarchy. The social hierarchy, that is. She's at the top of her fucking game. You don't fuck with her. They don't fuck with me. This is the rat race. That's the bar behind her. She's serving up the drink. She's the bartender lady. Think Mad Moxie. Moxie vibes. This is the... How do I beat that day to day? How do I beat that grind? What level of perspective am I missing to beat this level? This is the... I'm a badass. I'm a stomp anyone and anything that comes in my way. I like this card a lot. I really like the way that it looks, it feels. It does remind me of you. Like, 100%. We can get into that. Agent of Arms. We're curious about you. Let me take a peek with my actual eyeballs here. Riding motorcycle, something's on fire. The UFO has me sent, honestly. Who's he fighting? What's he after? Let's find out. Agent of Arms. Flip, flip, flip. Agent of Arms. So agents are like the knights. She says it's mean. Why do you feel like this is going to be a mean card? Curious. Ooh, I like that. These two actually are very synonymous. I'm not gonna lie. Because this one is straight to the point. He says, directness, action, authority, hasty. There's work to be done. Either clear me a route or get out of my way. I like that. I like that a lot. You think this one means like separation? Maybe going off on one's own? I can understand that. Yeah. That checks out. There is a certain level of locking in. That's what it means. It means to lock in. If you're not going to help me, fuck you, get out of my way. There will always come a time where you have to make that decision to let go of people and things that no longer serve you. That's hard to do. It's very hard to do. You have to filter what you're bringing in, what you are allowing in to further advance in your goals. So I can see how that is harsh. I can see how that is harsh. Let's sit with that for just a second. Because this is the one that I'm really not looking at. It's literally a bloody mess. This could mean ego death, as far as I'm concerned. Betrayal, loss, suffering, endings. Here I expire, guilty of the crime of trust. There were more difficult challenges that I bested, but I saw those coming. This, only the heartless could have predicted such events, and only the heartless could have enacted them. Ouch. I want to sit with that for a second. These two mingle very well. There's a reason why he's like that. Loss. That betrayal. And it doesn't have to be anything like super dramatic, but our past grievances help shape us, and we need to garner an appreciation for those things and not dwell on that. Let's see. Number 6. You're the number. The Apprentice of Vials. Beautiful. Creativity, synchronicity, fresh outlook. Wow. Flesh left behind, and I've ascended above the plate with this new form. Everything is new again, and I feel like I could do anything. What a beautiful ending to all of that. We're new. Exactly. I like that it started with the vials, with this lady here, and it ended with vials. Ego death. Let's be real. There is no quitting. This doesn't say quit. This says continue. If you choose to quit the game, that's up to you. You're given the option to continue. You can step away from it for a second, but you'll eventually figure it out if you keep playing. This isn't telling you to quit your job. I know you want to. I know we all want to. But in esta economia? Are we opening up a bar? Is that what we're gonna do? We could. Just saying. This one's cry. I hear you. I do. This one is not quit. This one is continue. It says so, right? Continue? It's like the universe saying, are you sure you want to quit that game right now? Because you can start up another game, sure, but you're going to get stuck and you're going to keep starting new games over and over and over again. You're not going to progress in any single one of them. You're not going to finish any of them. Yeah, because he lost that round. How do you play Bloodborne? How do you play Elden Ring? How do you play any of those games where you're forced to restart over and over and over again? And guess what? You keep figuring it out. Do you have the willpower to continue? Do you have the willpower? You've fought so many battles before. You have fought so many battles before, and you want to quit now? Get the fuck out of here. No. You get it together. You figure it out. You keep riding forward. You've died so many times already. And you're still here? Because you choose to continue? Yes, of course you do. Because guess what? That fresh outlook is on its way. I'm still risen. Don't worry. She is risen. No, this checks out. Like I said, this is like, she feels like a premonition. She feels like an oracle, a seer, a... She's the bartender. You go to her, you tell her your woes, and she knows a little something that you don't. She knows your fuck. Potential. That was the word. So, listen, this is what's it called? Aggressive love. This individual is holding a... Oh, we've got 2 sets of arms in this. Holy shit, hang on. We've got He's holding a cup, but he's also holding a bouquet of flowers. That makes me think, stop and smell the roses. Stop and appreciate the little things. Stop and look at something with a new perspective. Which is essentially what this card even means. You have a fresh outlook. You have fresh skin. You have... Something comes to mind is your skin, like your skin cells, your flesh renews itself every 7 years or so. So, take that how you will. You fought all of these battles. You keep going. But don't let the outcome of those battles dictate how you're going to move forward. Don't let that outside energy dictate your path. Sit with yourself for a little bit. Because that goes back into that discomfort of self. Why are we seeking out distractions? What is so uncomfortable about our reality right now that we need a distraction? Albert tell you what Ibert told him. You just gotta get out there and do it. That's your fortune cookie of the day. Why are we watching streams? To hang out. Honestly. At least that's why I do it. I like to hang out. Have conversation. Watch someone play a game or listen to something, you know, whatever. You know, we want that connection with people. We want that little bit of something. A little bit of social interaction, potentially. I don't know. Why is my music changing? I don't want rainforest. It's really pretty. Here we go. We want this. Wow, good visual. This is telling you to lock in. Make that vision board. Start that journal. Really try to sit with yourself and get a clear-cut focus of what it is you want. Maybe not even out of life, but what do you want by next week? What do you want in the next couple of hours? What at the very baseline of things are you trying to achieve? I get that. I get that very hard. Now we seek connection with others. We seek humanity. This isn't I'm not saying like the locking in is a great feeling. It's not. It can be very lonely. It can be very combative, and it can be just I don't want to say a nuisance, but that was the word that came to mind. There's something admirable about saying you're going to do something and following through versus just talking about it. Right. You know, when, like, as a streamer, there is that desire to be well-liked, popular, or even whatever, but at the end of the day, you're still you. You can only fake it for so long. You can only act for so long. But you get to know a person long term, I think. And you do kind of build a community from that. You build a friendship, you build those bonds, and it's important. I like this. I like this message a lot. Cool. Mm-hmm. I agree. It can be. Being your own individual self is a very it's sad to say that too. But being your true, authentic, individual self is so highly praised, yet so harshly looked down on. But that's what makes us unique, dude. You don't have to click with everyone. You're not supposed to click with everyone, you know? And we forget that sometimes. You put yourself out there, you're gonna get laughed at. You're gonna get made fun of. Okay? Whatever. You be you. The right people will find you. The right people are going to be there to help you build. The right people are going to be there to support you, to tell you exactly how it is. Shut up, MetaQuest. The right people... Shut up. I'm fighting with technology again. Why are you acting out? I haven't even touched you all day. Apparently I'm supposed to play some Beat Saber or something. I might. I don't know. I'm really glad that I could sit here and have this moment with you guys. Tech is very needy. So am I, and we're fighting. Like I said, I am very thankful that I got to hang out with you guys today. You were here for this special moment of tarot reading. I hope some of this stuff stuck. If not, that's whatever. Not my chair, not my problem. I'm just here to have fun, you know? And I hope everyone has a beautiful, lovely day. Rest of the day, rest of the evening. And maybe something stuck out. And maybe we'll do this again soon. That was fun. That's some good stuff. Some really good stuff. Curly, do you have anything to say? Of course you don't. I feel like I'm really invoking the spirit of Charles Carroll right now. Talking about the moon? Shit. What day did I say? August 9th? That's Friday. Let's see. I get my kid that day. Should have a fire. I just want to burn stuff. I just always want to... As a water sign, I love setting fires. Let's do it again. Let's do an outro cleansing with the big fire. Should be careful. I might actually set something on fire. Positive energy surge. All right, cut to boom. All right, outro initiated. Perfect. That's what I like to hear. I think I might stream again tomorrow. I've been thinking of either playing something I'm familiar with, like Okami, or Portal 2. Because I only have the second one right now. But Portal 2 is a lot longer, so I feel like that one would be a lot more fun to play. And it's been, like, literal years since I played it. That's just, that game's just got a good vibe. Good vibe. So we might fuck around with that, play some games, get in it. Or maybe I'll just stream playing fucking Vampire Survivors. I've been really locked into that. No, I did, get Castlevania, like the OG, lined up. Because how am I supposed to call myself a Castlevania fan when I haven't even played through any of the games? Shit. I think was it on Sega? Let's do some research. The original Castlevania game, known in Japan as Akumajo Dracula, is a 1986 action platformer developed and published by Konami for the Family Computer Disk System. It was released in Japan in September 1986 and later ported to cartridge format for the Nintendo Entertainment System NES. Wow. I thought it was Sega for some reason. I swear to God, I'm changing my last name to Belmont. That just feels good. It's a powerful name. Good stuff. Listen, I love playing Wolf Game. It's just such a good game. It's so pretty. Plus, it's got just some good, like, that game, and Okami ended up being such a long game that I did not anticipate. Oh, but I love it. I love it so much. Good vibes, good energy associated with it. But that's it. Remember, at the end of the day, messy magic still burns. Alrighty, my friends. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your night. Enjoy your food. Enjoy your drink. Enjoy the company that you choose that's in your life. I appreciate you all so much. Farewell.